Hello everyone and welcome back to another Glue tutorial. In this video I'm going to walk you through the schema control extension, giving you the freedom to set up accurate schema markup for your FAQs and how-to guides in the Elementor way. Let's get into it. So first things first, we need to enable schema control in the settings. Once we've done this, let's head over to our page and let's get started. I've already gone ahead and created a meta field with repeater subfields. One is for the question and one is for the answer. As you can see, I have pre-populated these with some placeholder text to demonstrate how this works. In order to show you how schema control works, we are going to use Elementor's toggle widget and set up an FAQ. This will allow us, along with the Dynamify Repeaters extension, to populate this data dynamically from our custom meta fields. If you need to know how Dynamify Repeater works in detail, simply pause this video and go and watch the tutorial, as it will make this a lot easier to follow along with. In a recent update, Elementor has included an option for FAQ schema. However, this is a simple toggle, whereas our schema control gives us full control on mapping the fields we want to use. So let's go ahead and take a look. There are two options within schema control. However, to begin with, we're going to activate this and select FAQs. There's also an option for how to, which we'll get onto in a moment. We will now repeat the same steps as above using Dynamify to map the fields accordingly. Because we created our meta field with JetEngine, our repeater source is of course JetEngine. Again, yours may differ, however, you will see this listed as an option. The content is going to be a post, and the post is of course the current post. The repeater field is the name that we are using, which is the name FAQ schema. It's important that we make note of the name of the meta field. In our case, this is called FAQ schema, and the first subfield name we need is question, and the second is answer. Now that this is all configured, let's go ahead and hit update and take a look at this on the front end. As you can see, our FAQs are dynamically pulling in that metadata. So let's explore the console and take a look at the code that's being generated from what we have just set up. All you have to do is open up the console on your browser, in our case we're using Google Chrome in this example, and do a quick search for schema. When you find this, you will see that within the schema code that has been created, our fields have been set up and mapped correctly, ensuring that the content we have used is specific to Google's requirements for FAQs with both the question and answer types. So now that we can see how the FAQ schema works, let's head back into Elementor and briefly take a look at the how-to schema and how the options work. How-to is a little more complicated in terms of setting up compared to the FAQs, but it is incredibly powerful once set up. The how-to schema control options are extensive in that you can set all of your fields in the expected format of how Google expects each type, but in the Elementor way. So why don't we go and check out some of the fields that we've made available to you. We have the total time field, the title, the description, an image, estimated cost, currency, and then the three following options are supply, tool, and step items. In order for these three options to work, you would need to set up three separate repeater meta fields to capture the data you want and to populate the fields with. It's worth noting here that if you enable the Dynamic Tags Everywhere extension, you can fetch any data that you want to map and populate these fields, so you are given total freedom and control. If we take a look again at the inspector within the browser, since we have switched to the how-to option, the schema has now adjusted itself as expected within the code. As you can see, once we begin populating these fields, they appear in the correct types, ready for Google to start focusing in on your content. So there we have it. Thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure to head over to the other tutorials and see you in the next one.